For several years, there were rumors that the great powers had developed and then abandoned an orbital weapon of horrific capabilities. But many suspected the leading scientists in these projects had not destroyed all of the plans for this doomsday device, that someone had recovered them and built their own. Those suspicions turned out to be correct. Their irresponsible actions turned the world upside down. This is the story of how the world became what we now know. I started recording everything I could when the last war started. The US-led coalition had finally begun its withdrawal from the Middle East, and it looked like a quiet peace might come to pass. Of course, terror was still being used as a weapon of last resort, and sometimes a first. The day the weapon was used, the world changed again. This time, everybody was an enemy. Everybody. Religious extremists started talking about their common enemy. The religion didn't matter. Muslims, Christians, and Jew alike shared a hatred for the decadent secular societies that dominated the world. These religious zealots formed a new faith, one that combined the worst that religion had to offer and launched their crusade. They are known as the God's warriors. Make no mistake, their old hatreds towards their own internal factions are still there, under the surface. They just hate everyone else more than they hate each other. They are mostly confined to the desolate wastes that separate the pockets of civilization and technology. These God's warriors rarely venture close to the large cities and protected settlements. Instead, they utilize hit-and-run tactics against overland convoys and ambush hapless travelers. Occasionally, the God's warriors have launched attacks with devastating results. Now they mostly continue to fight the secular societies and the Luddite insurgency. The Luddite insurgency is made up of the leftovers of the radical anti-globalization movement from the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Much like the God's warriors, the insurgents have been forced into marginally livable pockets in the wasteland known as the Forbidden Zone. Though vastly outnumbered and engaged in a multi-front campaign, the Luddites seem content to strike at the edifice of technology and consumer culture by using terrorism. The countries and nations we knew fell into chaos in the vacuum. City-states and confederations were born from the ashes. The two most powerful confederations are made up of the remains of the United States and Europe. The ISA, or Independent States of America, and Northern Alliance are locked in a continued struggle over ideology, resources, and territory. This war is fueled by the only remaining corporate conglomerate, the Genetics and Weapons Engineering Corporation, GE as it is called, provides the advanced weapons and technology to those who can pay. Most importantly, GE builds the clones that continue to drive this war. The ISA is a loosely confederated collection of interconnected metropolitan areas, military, industrial, and space research facilities across what was the southern and central United States. The ISA is allied with the surviving parts of Asia and Australia. For the most part, the ISA resembles the pre-war U.S., a consumer-driven, self-absorbed land of decadence. The major fighting between the ISA and the Northern Alliance is limited to strategic attacks and border skirmishes. Neither has the means to deliver a decisive blow beyond completely annihilating the other and themselves with a nuclear attack. The Northern Alliance is a unique experiment in social engineering. In the aftermath of the first wave of attacks from the satellite weapon, a female-centric movement was born. Women all over the world became empowered, and in several brilliant coups d'etats took control from the men. In the Northeast U.S., Britain, and mainland Europe, the women had created what they hoped would be the next step in human social evolution. What has been created was a neo-fascistic, estrogen-driven dystopia. GE is itself a nation-state, so to speak, controlling vast resources and territory. Though able to defend its interests, it's unable to engage in protracted engagements without the aid of one of its clients. Its facilities are heavily defended and scattered from Russia to Africa, provides the advanced weapons and technology to those who can pay. Most importantly, GE builds the clones that continue to drive this war. After the satellite weapon was developed, the research into cloning and advanced weapons was accelerated. GE provides these artificial people, thus creating an ongoing, dependent relationship with its clients. This is the world we live in. September 2nd, 2034. This is Hannah Dixon, signing off for the Voice of a Free World.